Sooner or later, we need just to walk away from this oppression personally and free yourself. I mean, it's one thing for us to talk about emancipate yourself from mental slavery, but you must try one day to make that practical. That's when you notice that colonialism project is thorough and it was real. Now come with me. I'll talk to myself as if all of you are not here, so that I can enjoy myself and I don't have to worry about what happens, who happens, where happens. Put your hand on your head and say after me, this is how I think. Now, if your hand is not on your head, either English is a problem or you don't have what I'm asking for. Put your hand on your head and say after me, this is how I think.
This is how I think.
This also includes those that are very educated, who are always looking very suspicious, wondering, what is this all about? I said, put your hand on your head and say after me, this is how I think.
This is how I think.
That is the first H. Put your hand on your heart and say after me, this is how I feel.
This is how I feel.
One more time, this is how I feel.
This is how I feel.
Put your hand in your hand and say after me, this is how I do.
This is how I do.
Let's say it like we believe it. This is how I think.
This is how I think.
This is how I feel.
This is how I feel.
This is how I do.
This is how I do.
There are only 3 things you must do in life and die. Number 1, you must use the head for thinking. It's not a cosmetic center for hanging things. Your head must be used for the furniture that is in your 2 ears, if that makes sense to you. And many of us spend so much time fixing the cosmetics of our faces and forget the furniture that is inside our heads. That gives me the hashtag number 1. When the face is beautiful and the software is not working, hardware suffers. In more simpler terms, when country is beautiful and the continent is beautiful, but we don't have the brains, our resources will always suffer. Use your brains for thinking. Calibrate it, populate your mind with positive thinking. Be business of thinking. I've been hanging around enough scholars by now to know some of them say, I think. Meanwhile, they are not thinking, they're just quoting other thinkers. We understand quotations and etc., but we need to grow soon enough to begin to speak from the gut and be honest about where we are and what we really think. And I struggled when I started off in this Pan-African direction until I discovered how to think. Piero, I had to sit with myself with nothing in front of me. Having finished half of this wall of theological books, and I said to myself, so what? So what? So what? After William Shakespeare, Charles Dickens, by the way, Biti, one of my favorite authors also for indigenous African knowledge systems and etc. You go through systematic theologies, the Louis Beckhoffs, you go through Gerhard Hassels, you go through Derrida, you go through deconstruction, and so what? And I opted to say, I better start thinking. Number 2, you better find where your heart is, because your heart gives you the emotion and the drive to do. If right now all you young people who are not yet married, if your young lady can send you a picture and say, I want you here by tonight, and you have nothing in your pocket, I know you will be there. Don't ask me how. You will make a plan. True or false? Come on. You will make a plan.
True.
You will pawn your phone, you will borrow money, you will do anything, you will Uber, you will taxi, you will make a plan. Therefore, none amongst us here can say, I don't have money, because money follows desire. When you want to do something, you will find the resources to do it. So therefore, your heart is important, because it is the fuel for your transport. Your heart is important. It will drive you to go where you must go. Unfortunately, many of us, our passion are in other things. At the end of the day, we achieve less of what we really need to achieve, because we are preoccupied by cosmetics. Use your head for thinking, H number 1. Use your heart for feeling, H number 2. Use your hand for doing, H number 3. Don't just think about it. Don't just think about it. Do about it. Hey, want to pass? How? Hey, Africa will be free. How? Hey, I'm going to get married. How and when? It is the how part that separates infatuation, emotions, ideas into practical applications. So think about that, feel about that, do about that. I went to the market this morning. Can you put this together for me? I think I look sharp, didn't it? Don't be jealous now, don't be jealous now. This is all Kenyan. I went to the market this morning and I decided to dress up myself and free myself. And others are wondering what is underneath. Nothing. None of your business, nothing. In fact, those who have done biology, you must walk freely. Africans knew that male health is important, and all these tight jeans we put, they're actually a problem to reproduction and other things. But we'll talk about that on another health expo. But there's nothing wrong with you walking around and leave them hanging. Is that okay? Yes, sir. I went to the market and I got myself a tool that I'm holding in my hand. I have lots of them in my house, more than 65 of them. Every time I travel, I buy sticks. Anyone who says that our forefathers could not write, it is him or her who cannot read. Because their writing was different from our writings. They wrote in art. They wrote in craft. They wrote in pieces of furniture. When you look at my head, don't just admire it. It's a full dietary menu. You must eat green, you must eat yellow, you must eat orange, you must eat what? You can have this head and actually be healthier than you think. It is a menu. You can also take this head and go to the bush and you'll find that it is a key to herbs. You can take this head and go to biology and you'll find that actually every color that is connected to the members of the body. At the end of the day, the colors of my head, the colors of the herbs, and the colors of your organs are all linked up together. So that our forefathers knew these things and they put them in pieces of art. And then you say it's demonic and it is satanic. No wonder you're on diabetes tablets and you have a problem with sugar, with hypertension. Because you undermine knowledge and you exalt what is meaningless. I hold in my hand here a piece of stick as I'm closing, which has 7 divisions on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Can you read after me? 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I challenge you, if you're in Kenya, please go to this market just down the road here. Go and buy yourself one of these babies, put it in a nice frame, and you buy it in remembrance of me. After today, this will never be the same again. Are you ready? On your marks, get set, go. Colonization has 7 pillars that hold it together. Pillar number 1 is what we call sports and recreation. Come with me? Sports and recreation, entertainment, where we're spending hundreds of hours watching. 12, 21, 2 people, 3 people, if it is soccer, 22 men who badly need rest, being watched by 65 million who badly need exercise. People will fight over Arsenal, over Barcelona, fight over buying t-shirts and etc. Entertainment, and they forget whatever enters you attains you. So we are occupied in entertainment, as if as Africans we do not have a way of entertaining ourselves. Unfortunately, pardon me, some of you who are soccer and tennis addicts, some of these sports are stupid. Literally stupid. You must look at African sports where we have stones put on the ground in 2 rows this side, 2 rows that side. You must calculate 1, 2, I now have 4. 4 plus, I now have 8. 8 here, grab 2 there, grab 4 there. 4 plus 8 plus 2 plus 6, I now have 12. Add up them, and you count up these things. We did arithmetic, and in case you did not know, these are some of the basic binary sciences which are now using in terms of computer science. And we throw away these games for some stupid little Arsenal t-shirts of a team that is in Timbuktu and Honolulu that we don't even know. And we beat each other up and we fight with our wives and our husbands because our teams have lost. I think we've lost our minds. Entertainment is one pillar. They know that if these people can keep them busy, keep them busy. 6 hours, the stadium opens at 8, 9 in the morning. The game is at 3 in the afternoon. People are all waiting for those 90 minutes. How much time do you lose watching movies? How much time do you lose being entertained? And whoever is entertaining you is occupying your mind and populating it with foreign information. Come on, put your hand and say, no illegal immigrants here. Come on. I will say it like you believe it. No illegal immigrants here. Because you find yourself dressing in a certain way, talking in a certain way, and you don't know why. I mean, I've had friends at college who went to America for 2 weeks. They came back, oh, you know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, man? For crying out loud. Like 2 weeks. The mind is totally corrupted. I'm confused. That's entertainment. Pillar number 2, education. Say after me. Pillar number 1. You don't fail in my class. If you fail, you are beyond teaching. You must claim all your school fees back. Number 1 is entertainment, sports, and recreation. Watch out the stuff that entertains you and occupies you and wastes your time. Number 2, education. Here, talk for the whole day. What you call formal education is informal education. Ask me why. Ask me why. Because when you finish it, they want 1 year experience. And then you wonder, for the past 18 years, I've been studying primary school, high school, college, graduated, I hereby apply for a job. And then they say, we want 1 year experience. Shut up! Where do you think I get it from? I just walked out of college. There's no way I can have experience. What you call formal education is actually informal education. But our indigenous education is formal education. Because by the time you finish it, you know how to do it. The secrets and sacred are 2 different words. Secrets, we keep information away from you because we don't want you to know. Sacred, we only share with you because you must experience it. So who is knowledgeable? The one who knows secrets or the one who has gone through sacred? Sacred is experiential because you are being, you are becoming. As you experience, you learn. Learning is not detached. God is not hiding in a book, professor. That must go and look for him in John 3:16. This is what made parallel with theologians. Said, do you know God? No. Go and read the Bible. Oh my God, all creator of the universe hiding in a small little book somewhere. There's much more to life than us looking for the universe in a small little booklet. Look at nature. Look at the wind. Look at the food you're eating. Look at the process of childbirth. Look at all this thing, and you tell me that you cannot see the divine hand wiggling its way in the affairs of mankind? What education has been given teaches us how to write CVs. Our education is a passport to foreign lands. Our education is not practical. No wonder you find a teacher applying for a job instead of opening a school. The whole doctor is now a qualified doctor, but he's applying for a job. Then you wonder, what did you study? You studied to be an employee, not to become the champion of your own destiny. Let me fly. Entertainment, education. Number 3, health and technology. Here is where many of us are dying, digging our graves with our teeth. The removal of our indigenous foods gave us plastic foods. And the pharmaceutical companies, they make money out of our sicknesses. And I'm glad everyone sitting in front of me today came through COVID. Are you awake now? Are you woke now? Some, of course, rush to do vaccinations and etc. You are in a hurry for nowhere. Where, sorry for not you guys are good white people. When a white man says it, our fellow black people will rapidly lose their heads because some little skew-eyed boy called Bill Gates can say what he says. No, you need to be vaccinated. Did he vaccinate himself? And here we are, all of us running with medications. We don't know the impact. I was reading the other day all these vaccinations and contraceptions and chicken pox and what that is coming to Kenya. Your cows are going to be vaccinated and what. I'm not going to be eating beef from Kenya in a very long time. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Because I know a witch in my village. A witch is the one who treats what is not sick. When you are sleeping at night and you are healthy, and then someone comes in the night when you are sleeping and then they give you medicine to treat you and you are not sick. Now, anyone who is treating a person who is not sick is a witch. By the way, in our villages, we don't have witch doctors. It was actually a science. They were asking, which craft is this? Not witchcraft. It was witchcraft is this. As much as you have aircraft, we have craft in Shona. These are crafts. So when they saw a woman moving her hands on top of a pregnant woman, and the baby would move and face the right direction, the white man looked and said, witchcraft. What science is this? So before you call Africans witchcraft, and you call our practice witchcraft, you may want to find out even bullets, gunpowder used to be witchcraft dust until someone was able to put it in a brass barrel. Now it is a science of war. So until we can find some few people who can convert those who know how to make lightning, maybe we have enough electricity. If we can find those who know how to fly at night, maybe we don't need to buy air tickets. You just go to the back of the house, take off your clothes, and sit on a mat. You are there by tomorrow morning. Until this thing, now you're joking and now you're laughing. But you remember that the time when they discovered the cell phone, who thought that some people would talk without a line? Are we not using cell phones now? Is this not witchcraft? Now, before the end of this year, next year, we're going to be having holograms. Maponga J does not need to come here. Put a big camera there, put a big thing here, put a big screen here, and Maponga J right in Johannesburg. Hello, Nairobi. You'll be seeing my ghost right here, without me being here. Is that not witchcraft? Oh, because there's a science behind it. And it can be repeated again and again. Then it stops being witchcraft. It starts being a science. So even going to heaven is witchcraft. Who has ever been there? We can't even prove it. But then that's a subject for another day. Entertainment, education, health, and technology. Our technologies were moved away from us. Let me fly faster. Business and economics. Business and one.
Sports and entertainment.
1, 2. I did know that professors also get things wrong. Professors, what's happening here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Business and economics. Money is stupid. Someone prints $100 American. To print $100 American costs you 18 cents. 18 cents. And you bring a bag full of 18 cents papers in a briefcase. And you collect gold from Africa. And you leave us a bunch of papers. There's no value. In our old business model, we used to barter value for value. Now, who can buy land? Who can buy a car? And at the end of the year, the cow you bought from me is given birth to another cow, 100% of the initial purchase. And the following year, another one, 100%, 300%. Tell me which bank will give you 300% profit on any investment, except if it's a scheme. So our form of business and economics was removed from land, and it was moved to the bank. And when you get to the bank, without land, you have no guarantees. So he is the African as a slave, working for papers to buy the food to the land he was disenfranchised from. And the vicious cycle of poverty started in Africa. When you take away land from us, we don't even have a right of reproduction. Look at a lion, walks in the bush, and it pees on some few trees. It pees on some few trees, marking its territory. After it has put its wing in a territory, Then it comes here and starts reproducing. Without land, it is illegal to reproduce. Every man must have 2 wives. Come on, put your hands together. Every man must have 2 wives. The first wife is land. The second wife is the one who makes children for you. Oh, women are finally happy now, yeah? I will see you. What are you even happy for? First wife is land. Because if you don't have land, you're going to give birth to poverty. And you cannot impregnate your wife, and then you are going to beg food and beg for food to look after your children. Young ladies who are here, when a man says, I love you, don't say why. Stupid question. Ask where. You get the difference? Don't say, I love you, I love you. Say, why? That question is for kindergarten. Say where. Who has ever slept with a man or a woman on WhatsApp or on Facebook? You need an address. Kona, Lutanga, and Julius Nyerere. Meet me there. Meet me at Formula 1. Where is it? At Krinyanga, and what? That one. You need an address. Therefore, without an address, even love cannot take place. Without land, it's illegal to reproduce. When land was taken away from us, we were castrated even to the point of non-reproduction. Now you ask all these men, how many children do you want to have? 1 or 2. Why? I can't afford. 1 or 2. Why? I can't afford. So it's not an issue of affordability, which has sunk us into poverty. Entertainment, education, health and technology, business and economics. This one is for you, remember? Governance. Governance. The Roman Dutch law is a marine law, which is meant for those who have gone to sea, so that when they come back from sea, their property is safe. I don't know how the Roman Dutch law, which is a marine law, ended up as a law on the land. We as Africans work with the natural law. Isn't it funny that Africans, all of us, most of us were colonized by the British, by the Germans and the Portuguese. We are struggling with the legal framework that does not even have the first item on the law document. Jurisdiction. In which territory does this law work? And the description is simple. Roman Dutch law. So where must it work? In Rome and amongst the Dutch. Keep it there. Now, how do you export and import Roman Dutch law to Africa? It comes with its own religion, comes with its own marriages, comes with its own structures, comes with its own legal frameworks, which have become a nightmare for African governments. They swear themselves power only to discover they cannot change anything. Tied by the very colonial legislative framework, changing partners every 5 years. Remember, you get married this year, 5 years later, goodbye, another partner, you get married again, 5 years later, goodbye. How come I've never heard the British changing their leader? How come I've never heard Dubai changing their leader? How come I've never heard Singapore changing their leader so often? How come I've never heard China changing their leaders so often? How come I've never heard Russia changing their leaders so often? Don't you know that when you get a good quality leader, you can keep him in power to achieve what he can achieve much more than this diaper changing of administrators every 5 years. You get into a vicious cycle, exchanging hyenas with foxes, and always wondering, how come the sheep are disappearing? One thief eats, before he is finished eating, another one comes hungrier than the one who was there, spending millions. I've seen African politicians, oh, my tongue will turn. They have $20-30 million to spend on election. They don't have 1 million to buy beds in the hospital. Huh? They don't have 6,000 to fix potholes that go to their own houses. But talk about elections and power. Now I know politics is a prostitute of economics. Governance, our own ways of ruling ourselves. Sovereignty is not found in democracy, it is found in our monarchical royal systems, like the Dutch do, like the British do. Have power, land, everything, centralize it at a place where no one can steal, take it away, keep it in custody for the whole nation. Are you embarrassed as Kenya that all the politicians are buying land, thousands of hectares of land, We don't even use. And you wonder, where do they get this money? Because when you look at their salary, and you look at the land which they have bought, you did accounts more than I do. This not make sure. It doesn't come out together nicely. But our governance protects the thieves and sacrifices the man who stole bread. He's a thief. But the one who steals from the government coffers is an MP. Number 6, agriculture, the green one. How educated are you if you cannot feed yourself? Can't feed yourself. Supermarkets close, you die. Food is basic to life. Health is wealth. Without good health, even the richest man is poor. And finally, the white represents spirituality. What governs our ethics, our morality, and how we live in this world. Entertainment, education, health and technology, business and economics, governance, agriculture, spirituality. The 3 ribbons you see on my side of my head, the past, the present, and the future. Look into the past. How did they entertain themselves? How did they educate themselves? How did they heal themselves? How did they do business? You can take the 7 interrogatives and cascade them onto the stick. Then you have your 7 by 7, your first 49 questions of how to deal with deconstructing the mind of an African. Then after those 7, then take the 3, past tense, present tense, and future tense, and recascade it, and you start getting into a spiral web of asking the right questions so that you can get the right answers. This is how I want you to think. This is how I want you to feel. This is how I want you to do.